We are live. Yeah, I said I'm not going to mess around. We're not going to look at Facebook to see if we're streaming. We know we're streaming. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Captain Jim Palmer, and I am the Dream Business Coach. Welcome to another very special live edition of Dream Business Radio. This is my 8th year of doing this podcast, bringing you great guests, great content, tips, and strategies, all designed to help you build your dream business so you too can live your dream lifestyle. My special guest today is a really good friend of mine. His name is Craig Valine. His name is Craig Valine. Craig is a marketing performance strategist from Pasadena, California. Craig helps already successful experts and professionals be more profitable without spending a lot more money, time, and effort in the process. Craig and I first met, I believe, about 14 years ago at a marketing conference that we were both attending. And then Craig invited me out to speak to his group. He hosts a monthly get-together with small business owners. I don't think it's happening right now as during the whole COVID crap, but right now, anyway, he brought me out twice before. Here's my little voice interrupting my thought pattern. He's brought me out. I spoke twice to his event on retention-based marketing, newsletter marketing. And then I spoke at he did a really huge event for the Chamber of Commerce there. I think there was like almost 125 people there. And I keynoted that and spoke about dream business marketing principles. So Mr. Craig, how you doing today? I'm
doing great. So great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for being on my program. Oh my goodness. I got to set a limit to how many of these things I do in one day, because by the end of the afternoon starts getting a little punchy. But anyway, you and I have known each other, right? Almost 14 years or thereabout. I'm trying to think of the exact time we met.
I think it was 2008. So about just almost 14 years.
Yeah. And when you and I first met, you were just getting involved in the whole Glazer Kennedy marketing thing, hosting one of the Southern California meeting groups. And you were known at the time as the former struggling consultant, which I thought was a great brand.
Right. Yeah, I had struggled a lot as a consultant when I started. And because, I just started doing consulting on my own because people asked for advice and I gave it. They said, "Oh, you should do this full time." And I said, "Okay." And then I had no idea on how to get clients. I thought everybody was my client, and that was not the case.
Yeah.
So I paid a lot of money to figure it out. And, finally, I was able to help other consultants and service professionals. And they said, "Oh, you're the former struggling consultant." I said, "I guess I am."
So somebody actually said that. That's not something you came up with your marketing mind.
No, you got to take it when you get it. So I was sharing my story with somebody and said, "Look, I struggled just like you," and and they just came up with that. So,
well, that's funny because back in the day when we met, pre-Dream Business Coach, I was the newsletter guru for No Hassle newsletters and those businesses. And one of my clients had really great success with the newsletter that we had created for him. And he introduced me to somebody else. He was giving me a referral, and he said, "Yeah, you got to talk to Jim. He's a friggin' newsletter guru," right? And that's where that came from. I think I like the way that sounds.
I've heard it before. Ideas are just flowing in the air, and you just got to grab it and claim it.
Yeah. So we talked about a lot of things last week when I invited you on the program. And because we could talk about how to help consultants, what you're doing now. And you said, "Boy, I think in one of our conversations, there's so many hidden powers that are in a business." And boom, like you say, these ideas, I grabbed onto that one. So what do you mean by hidden powers in your business? How can entrepreneurs get more out of that?
Well, my focus, you called me a marketing performance strategist, and that is a fancy name for marketing consultant. But I focus on getting better performance from the things you're already doing, and focusing on uncovering things that you don't even realize are assets to you in your business.
Okay.
And assets mean they have value, they have strength, they have power. So every business has some sort of leverageable asset within a business that can be used for greater profit, greater productivity, greater results. And so what I usually do is I tap into 5 specific ones when I first sit with a client. Number 1 is your list and the relationship you have with your list.
Okay.
That's for You mentioned when you introduced me, I work with already successful people. These are people that are already making some money. They're in business. I don't work with startups.
Craig, if I can interrupt you just for a second, I read that, right? And because I know that's the way you get introduced when you do these interviews. And I said, already. See, that's a key word, right? Because it really clarifies who you want to work with. Like, you don't want to work necessarily with somebody who's just starting out at ground zero, because they wouldn't likely have a list, right? So it's pretty important how much each word means to your business.
Amen to that. I will help a startup, but I won't work with them as a client.
Right.
So the list is important. So an already successful client has former clients. If they're speaking, if they're doing any type of marketing, they have future clients, and they have people who are just not doing business with them. So they have past clients. So hopefully over time, they have a relationship with that. And there's power in that relationship.
And you don't just mean an email list. You're talking about a list of customers, past and present, right?
Not just an email list, but any list that you have in some way, shape, or form had a relationship with. So, that's one of your biggest retention strategies, is just maintain the relationship with the people you've done business with them.
Right.
So there's power in that. That's number one. Number two is your reputation. What are you known for? What are you known for doing for your clients? What are you known for not doing? It's like my nickname is No BS Craig. I'm known for being very straightforward and diplomatic, and for solving marketing problems. It's what's the Winston Wolfe on Pulp Fiction? I'm called in to solve a problem, and I can, either take my advice, gentlemen, or you're on your own.
That's right.
So what are you known for? Why would people seek you out? Why would people be talking about you? Number three is marketing. If you're doing any sort of marketing that generates new business or recurring business, there's power in that. That's an asset. Specific marketing advantage is number four. It's like, what do you do that no one else can, does, or will offer to the marketplace, to your marketplace?
Mm-hmm.
So there's power in that. And the last one is clarity. Clarity about who your market is, clarity about your purpose of being in business, clarity about your goals, clarity about your vision, what your offer is. So I start with those 5 things whenever I sit with a client for the first time.
Okay.
And pretty much, if they're already successful, they have this extraordinary power just waiting to be unleashed and put on turbo, if you will.
Right. I know what you're saying, because I don't know whether it's just paying it forward or whatever, but a couple of years ago, I helped somebody who was graduating college. So I helped somebody get their first business online, but it's so different when you got somebody that's at least got a little bit of traction. They've got some revenue, they're not at zero. Everybody starts somewhere, but it just depends on who you want to work with and how fast you can get them to their goals. Did you want to say something before I move on?
Yeah, it's a lot harder to get started going versus getting course corrected, putting back on track.
Right.
So if you're already going, you can just nudge over and then you're on the right path. But if you are getting going, it takes a lot of power for a train to leave a train station,
Yeah, exactly right.
Or for a jet to take off. But once it's in air, all it takes is a little slight course correction, and then it's on the direction to its end goal.
Right. Now, Craig, I know you consult with business owners in a lot of different niches. Because business is business. If you apply those 5 things, you're going to be able to help a number of businesses. But I also know that in the last few years, because you and I have actually consulted on a couple of similar clients, you've been focusing a lot in doctors and dentists, and probably more dentists than straight up doctors, physicians, how to market and grow their practice. Why did you settle on that? Is that where your customers came from? You said, well, this works for me, or is that some kind of passion for you?
Well, as you mentioned, I ran the only local GKIC chapter in Los Angeles for 7 years. Mm-hmm. And then I kept it going as a result under my own name, Enhanced Marketing Performance, EMP. From that GKIC crowd, I attracted a lot of dentists, because Dan Kennedy had a lot of dentists in his group. One prominent member, Dr. Brian Berg, who recently passed away, he was an angel in my life. He was my best client. And longest standing mastermind member. He was an attraction to a lot of other dentists, because Dan Kennedy used to mention him in the newsletter a lot. Bill Glazer used to mention him. because he would submit his marketing to them to say, hey, look at what I'm doing, or he would enter contests. In fact, I think he was a candidate for Marketer of the Year.
So wait a minute, Dr. Brian Berg, who I also consulted with a few years ago, he was submitting stuff in this marketing contest, probably some of the stuff that you helped him with.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Things that we discussed in our mastermind group. So,
yep.
It's like, hey, I need to do a marketing campaign. I'm going to be on vacation. We would all talk about it. It's like, why don't you use your dog, or why don't you use your son in your marketing and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So he would do a handwritten letter, put in a lunch bag or something to that. I mean, he was a very brilliant marketer. But yeah, I forgot. He did newsletters with you and coaching with you. He was in the summer business school, I think, with you, right?
Yeah, he did. Have you? So you've been working with a lot of dentists. Have you? And by the way, share whatever you want to share. Don't share what you don't want to share. But I'll ask the question. Have you found anything common among dentists? Like, what's like the biggest problem they have, or the challenge? What do they do well? Because, and I'll give you my take real quick. I think dentists and doctors and a couple other service professionals, maybe lawyers, I guess, they could be very good at what they do, but they're not good at marketing and bringing in business. They focus more on the deliverable side of the business. Is that fair, or do you have a different experience?
That is extremely fair, because they are great at their own internal systems from bringing in a patient. I mean, from the moment a patient walks in the door to filling out the paperwork, to sitting in the chair, to follow up. That kind of care is brilliant. They have the staff generally to take care of every aspect of that patient experience, and they have those systems in place. Here's what happens when the patient calls up on the phone, when they come in the office for the first time, when they sit in the chair, et cetera, et cetera. What they don't have is that for marketing. So they don't have systems in place for marketing. So even a marketing plan, they don't know. They're doing everything kind of they're winging it. And then they say, I'm working with a dentist that I'm not sure that but he's a periodontist. He's a friend of one of our former clients, Dr. K. But he is a brilliant guy, and he has so many ideas, and he's already very successful. But he can't implement everything because he doesn't have the systems in place. He doesn't have the staff to take on those extra roles. And up until recently, they had no plan in place. It's like, what are the things we're going to do, and how are we going to implement it? So I'm there now working with them on a consultative basis to be an ear, a voice, and let's bring it all in, and let's narrow it down and put it into an actionable plan. And if we can't do it with the in-house staff, then let's hire it out. Let's get someone else to do it, that sort of thing. So I experienced that with almost every dentist that I work with. And I tend to work with specialty dentists, by the way. So Dr. Berg, who was your former client, was an orthodontist. Dr. Kozlowski, who's a prosthodontist. This one, Dr. P, is a periodontist. I like that because they're experts in their craft. They're sought out.
Holy smoke. If you saw me jump, I don't know how good my microphone is, but we got a major thunderstorm.
Oh my goodness.
It clapped so loud I jumped out of my seat. I'm okay though. We're still floating. Yeah. So anyway, that's very interesting. So what I have found when I work with folks like that is sometimes, not always, they want to learn the skill and the strategy and then give it to their front desk staff, who sometimes is busy when it's busy, and sometimes they're sitting there and they say, you implement it. And that always goes badly unless you've got a highly skilled, marketer as your front desk person.
Right. No, I agree. The doctor will go to a seminar like one of my events, GKIC, Dr. Guy, what's his name? Jay Geyer's seminar. They'll get so excited. They'll come home and then I'll put it on the desk. And, obviously the staff is like, oh no, he went to another seminar. The doctor has a ton of passion. What I have found is the best people that I work with, we work together. We all have to be on the same page or else it won't work. And so I just got off a call actually with a new the web designer and that periodontist. The whole team was involved so they can understand what's going into it, why things need to be in a certain place, why certain things need to be said. And so they're all emotionally involved. It's not just one of Dr. P's great ideas. Right. And so, everybody has to be involved in the process.
So I'd love it if you can come up with a success story, and it can be anonymous, but I know you've actually a big fan of print and mail newsletters as a way of staying top of mind. You and Dr. Berg created this amazing referral program and things like that. But what would, if we have some dentists listening right now, what would be a pretty cool strategy you could share that and share a little bit of the actual success that you had with it?
Yeah, the one that I did with Dr. Berg is what I actually, because that was so critical and so important to his business, I now teach it and use it with other specialty dentists. And that is, number one, the relationship with other referring doctors. That's why I like to work with specialty dentists. They rely on relationships. And for instance, Dr. Berg gets his referrals from other periodontists, prosthodontists, general dentists, and stuff like that. So you got to find creative ways to stay in touch. And one way we did that was by tying into unique holidays every month. So we had he not only did a patient newsletter, but he had a specific referring doctor newsletter that went out every month. Then he would do special deliveries in person. He would do it once or twice a year, but he had someone from his office deliver something related to the unique holiday. So for instance, root beer float day.
No.
Yeah. He wrote a letter that told the story about why root beer floats were so important to his childhood and how it tied into this unique holiday. And by the way, I just want you to have that same experience I had when I was a kid. So here are the fixins for a root beer float for you and your staff. And so he would do something like that every month, tying into some unique holiday. There's zucchini bread day. There's jelly bean day. There's
so you're not talking about Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day. You're talking about just other holidays.
Unique holidays with a story attached, not just, hey, it's this day, here's some gift.
Yeah.
It's like telling a little story which connects them to him on a personal level. It's like, wow, that's really cool. You know, he talked about going, you know, the root beer float story. His dad was an orthodontist as well, and they'd go across to the soda fountain when he was a kid during lunchtime. And wow, what a connection device. And he's human. He's a human being. And so he would also go down to, on Cinco de Mayo, he would go down to East LA to buy these tamales from this little old lady who opened up at 6 a.m. in East LA. They would be gone by 7 a.m., so he had to be down there.
Wow. And
so, and then he would come and he would dress up like in a sombrero and a whatever the thing is, poncho. And he would go deliver it himself. And, you know, it was just so powerful. So we created a course on referral marketing for dentists. It works for any profession, but this one specifically because it was connected to his business. And
you still have that, right? You still offer that course.
I do offer that. I have the entire thing. We created it together. So
wow.
And yeah, so it's powerful. And, you know, in any business, relationships are the absolute necessity and key to success. But when you have referring partners, and you could refer to anyone, right? Especially any dentist, the one that stands out the most, and not just because we're contacting them, not because we're giving them gifts, but because there's a connection, you know, through story, super powerful.
Yeah. So I wrote 3 notes. Number one, referrals are a two-way street. So if you're always asking for referrals and not giving them, there's a disconnect there. So it has to be a you know, two-way street. And what you just described with these unique holidays, and first of all, it's memorable. How do you remember somebody at the end of the day? Oh my God, you're going to go home and talk about it. He brought fixings for root beer floats, right? And then the overall concept here is reciprocity. You do something nice for somebody. It's like if you say Facebook is one of the positive things. Facebook reminds you of birthdays, hey, somebody's birthday. So you send them you say happy birthday. Well, as simple as that is, that kind of kicks in the reciprocity thing. Someone who may or may not would have said happy birthday to you, when they see your name come up, whenever it is, they're going to say, I better say happy birthday to them. It's a very powerful concept. I used to teach this with Melanie Benson, part of the Mars training program, the power of reciprocity, but that's really cool. Oh my goodness, 3:20 already. So Craig, that's really interesting. So the specialty dentists, which actually speaks to, you know, generalist versus specialist, right? They teach that. I know you used to teach that to your consultant clients and things like that. You could be a generalist, but the specialist, AKA, like you could be a general family doctor, or you could be a heart surgeon, a specialist. Specialists always make more. So that's interesting. Is that kind of why you did that? Or is that just the way the people came in through your group? Or
it came in that way through my group, but I found that I enjoy working with them because they're just a status above as far as in their profession. They're sought out, they're experts, they're authorities, and they rely again, on the relationships of others to build their practice, which is very
Okay.
simple. Very simple if you follow what I share to do.
Yeah. So I know you also run a mastermind group. I want to ask you about that group, but the second thing you mentioned, the five power, what'd you call them? The five
power.
Yeah, there you go. The second one was reputation. I did an interview a little while ago with somebody we know well, and this person was saying, Jim, I've been watching you for a long time. I never see you share anything controversial, political, religious, anything like that. And said, I call it staying in my lane. People have a relationship with me on social media and other places as a business coach, a marketing expert, whatever. What I don't necessarily want is to have them, oh my God, how could he think that? Half the people will say that and say, oh, I really agree with Jim. What are your thoughts as far as reputation management? Because that's really a big thing, especially today with all these social media platforms.
Yeah, I think it's important to set the rules that you want to live by. And I'm also in that camp. I may agree or disagree with things I see online, but I keep it to myself, or I never share it that way. What I want people to know about me is that I'm a loving dad, that I love business, that I love helping other people. And every post and everything that I do represents that. And so I recommend that to all my clients as well, my members, is that first you have to be clear. That's the clarity part. What do you want to be known for? Write it down. Are you honest, trustworthy? Are you a family man? Do you believe in God? Whatever it is that you want to convey to the world, because it might connect with another human being and it creates that deeper impact. If you want to be radical and crazy and, that's okay too, but just know that that's the type of people you're gonna get, and they can tend to be pains in the butt.
Yeah. And so it's all about your brand and your reputation. And what I say is every single thing you put out there is going to do one of two things. It's going to help or enhance your reputation, or it's going to hurt. It's almost never neutral, right? There's no gray area in life anymore. It's kind of weird the way we live, but so you're either going to keep enhancing your reputation, what you're known for in your brand, or you're going to hurt it. That's my feelings.
Right. And you just used the word that I did not use, which is the brand. The brand is what they know about you and what they associate you with. So if they associate, like I said, I make it a very important part to let them know that I'm a loving father, that I love my son, that I'm, because that has been part of my marketing for 20 years now, so. Since
your son was a little tiny tyke, you've called him Mini-Me. He's off to college now, which I told you when we had lunch, about 2 years ago, I said, I don't know, does he still like being called Mini-Me when he's 18, 19?
He never really did, but it's like it's a character. I don't call him that at all. It's a character. Now he's college boy. So.
Yeah. So one of the most important things I do is obviously I run the Dream Business Mastermind. You are also a coach. You run a mastermind in California. What do you like about the mastermind concept in general? And then I want to ask you about how to run your own mastermind while you join mine. So what about the mastermind concept in general do you find beneficial?
The best part of it is multiple thoughts, multiple backgrounds, multiple experiences, everything like that. So just when you think you've had it all, for instance, people will come to me in the group and say, what do you think, Craig? And I'm like, well, what do you think? It's like, and then it's completely different than what I was going to say, but it's a good answer. It's like, you just never know where people have been and where they come from, whether they're in the industry or not, of who's asking the question. I've learned more from a dance performer, a choreographer, than I ever did from Jay Abraham. It's like, okay, fluid motion, flow like water, as Bruce Lee would say. It's just like you funny where you hear things and you get advice on things and it goes, wow, that makes sense. And you can only get that through the energy of a mastermind, in my opinion.
And then about 4 years ago, and you and I, again, we've been friends and sort of colleagues and help each other. About 4 years ago, you reached out and asked about coaching with me. And I was like, wow, Craig, tell a little bit of that story.
Yeah, well, we had worked together back in 2011, and let me start there because I had reached out to you in the middle of the night because I was feeling lost and I didn't know where to take my business. And I emailed you and you responded the next day and said, I'm here to help. And I just felt connected. And instantly, within a month, we bam, I found the low fruit, hanging fruit on the tree. It was my best year ever. We had moved into private coaching into a group, and I didn't love it at that time. I don't know why. I thought it, I wanted you. That's it. But 4 years ago, I get hit one of those glass windows again. I was having one of the toughest times in my life, and I reached out to you again, and I needed that group energy. I needed, because I was isolating by myself, saying, I'm smart. I should be able to figure this stuff out for myself. And I just couldn't. And through your, I can't even tell the world how important you've been to me in my life. But it's just like, you know, through your guidance, through your friendship, through your checking in on me, making sure I was all right. And then that group with that same energy. Your daughter was on there. Adam's on there when I started back. And just several people that just, number one, it felt like a family of everyone helping each other. But number two, it's, again, there's no one answer to solve a problem. There's multiple experiences, affirmations to that problem. So if someone recommends something, ditto, I agree, you know. And then here's another way to look at things. So that, you know, again, I've had some dips in my life, in my business, but this has been the driving force. The Green Business Mastermind has been the driving force of keeping my spirit in my business alive.
So I don't know if you remember this, but in 2011, we got working together, and it was pretty much just one-on-one privately. You didn't want to necessarily come into my group calls. And then when you sort of resurfaced, I said to you, you know, Craig, one of my personal beliefs is we receive from the same size window that we give from. So I'd love for you to go. And since you rejoined the mastermind, I don't think you've missed maybe 2 calls a year. And even when you don't necessarily have a question or challenge that you'd like feedback from, you're like giving at everything. Is that just because I pressured you to do that? No, I know the answer, because you have very strong connections, and you have a heart to serve.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would be nobody if I couldn't give, if I couldn't help. You know, number one, I'm a serious student of life and business, and so I've had tremendous life experiences of being down on the bottom and being up on top, and they've both affected me in powerful ways. But yeah, I want to help. I want to contribute, and that's one of the things to consider in a mastermind. You don't just take. You got to give right. back. And it's all about, that's where the energy comes through. And if someone's not giving, you know, there's a void. You know, it's like, we want to hear from you. What do you have to contribute? I bet a lot. You know, a lot of people are hard on themselves and like, well, what can I contribute? No. Everybody has their own life experiences and can contribute a lot.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting to me, and it's not lost on me that not everybody I work with is in a great place and wants to go higher. Some people are struggling, and I kind of feel drawn to those people. But in both times that you reached out, it occurs to me, the little voice said, boy, you're really getting Craig on the personal hot seat here, so hope you don't mind. But in both times you reached out to me, it was not at a great place. Like you say, you had peaks and valleys, and you're in a valley. Did you ever have any trepidation about not just the time commitment, but the financial commitment? Because you were making a financial commitment to be part of my group at a time when you weren't necessarily doing well.
You know, what's funny is I did when I was doing well. When I didn't have a problem. But funny enough, I've made the monthly commitment back 1,000-fold. I mean, easily. There's no question about it. If you just act on what you hear, the investment is negligible. It's, you know, it's just powerful. I did balk at it, but my mindset was in a horrible state. Once I thought success, opportunity, there was hope. Oh my God. And you did that for me. You helped me get there to that point. And so did the group. Again, that group energy is amazing. You know, they can give you confidence where you didn't feel like you had confidence. But even still, if you're great at your craft, if you're good at what you do, but something's preventing you from hitting, there's a little glass ceiling there, the group helps you break through it. It's amazing. And not only on the calls, but in the Facebook group, if we, you know, on our one-on-one coaching calls with you, it just all works together and creates this dynamic energy, you know?
Well, I'm thrilled that you're part of the group. I feel very blessed that you come in and serve the other members of the group on our call. So I think it's a wonderful thing. We're bumping up against the clock. Speaking of bumping up against something, let's circle back. I really appreciate the thoughts on masterminding. I think it's one of the most important things. So any words of wisdom as it relates to unleashing the hidden power of your business on any of the 5 that you wanted to take a couple minutes and go a little deeper on?
You know, I watch a lot of forensic files. And, you know, crime scene investigation. And when they find a woman or a man who's been murdered, they don't look for outlaws. They look for in-laws. So think out and stop looking outside your business for the answers to build your business. Start looking inside your business first. There's a lot of value and assets within your business already that if you just focus on, your business will explode.
That's awesome. So where can people connect with you, especially if you're a dentist or a specialized, one of those words I have a hard time pronouncing, the P word, but how can people connect with you, learn more about you? I know you do. By the way, I want tell people, and if it's different than the website, where can they get on your email list? I've told you, you do some of the best emails, and somebody goes, oh, I don't need any more emails. Believe me, this is an education for you. Craig is an amazing email marketer, but it's because they're conversational. I don't read every one, but he's out there several times a week. So how can they get on your list?
Yeah, my current lead magnet is being updated. So you can go to my website, craigvalinemarketing.com.
Okay.
craigvalinemarketing.com, and just click on the contact us button for now. There will be an updated lead magnet with a video that you can watch, but in the meantime, you can do that. I would also come on Facebook. I do videos and post often, and it's Craig A. Valine. So just facebook.com, Craig A. Valine, and follow me there. I post every day, and I do videos. And
so your profile page is Craig A. Valine?
It's my business page, Craig A. Valine. Okay.
Craig A. Valine is the business page, and Craig Valine, V-A-L-I-E-N, no, V-A-L-I-N-E, marketing.com. That's where they can go and connect with you on your website and get on your email list.
Yes.
Craig, thanks a lot, man. This was a lot of fun. I knew this would be a fun show, and you've shared some great things. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jim. I love you, and I appreciate you, so it's my pleasure.
Feelings mutual. Hey, folks, that wraps up this very special interview live here on Facebook and other places with Craig Valine. And I am Captain Jim Palmer, and I'm the Dream Business Coach. If you're only connected with me here on this podcast or this video, you can fix that by going to getjimpalmer.com. That's my home base, getjimpalmer.com. If you're interested in learning more about the Dream Business Mastermind, which would be a very smart thing to do, that's Dream Biz Coaching, dreambizcoaching.com. But that's it. Until this time next week, another fantastic interview. You take good care.